All right, welcome to the Andrew Collin Show. I'm your host, Andrew Collin. I'm joined by my girlfriend and recurring guest, Brenna LaRock.
Hello.
Thanks for joining. Real quick, I will be having shows in Chicago at the IO Theater on April 28th, and then in Florida, May 10th at the Orlando Improv, and May 11th at the Tampa Improv. Exciting. Florida. I've never headlined in Florida. It's a lot.
Florida?
It's all friends that will go, like old friends who then text you like, yo, bro, can I get like seats in the front, like the third row, second aisle? Because like I just want to be in the middle and like make it all about me. And then can you talk about that one story from third grade? Because it's really funny and I say something funny about it. And my friends are fine, but it's just like they just don't get it. They don't understand like how much of a fucking mind fuck it is to perform in front of friends and family, especially when you're making fun of family or you're just trying to find a flow state where you're not overly anxious, and that's all that brings you is anxiousness, even though they got your back. And it usually, I've been proven wrong many times that like, oh, they're gonna be tougher, but they just want you to succeed. But every time it's that same, Yeah,
the whole ticket thing is like it's my show. Like you're not the bouncer. Like you just pay for. That's how you support a friend is you pay for a ticket.
Yeah,
and you go and you sit down quietly like everyone else, and you're not a distraction. That's a good friend right there.
Yeah, no, they are all paying. I'm making sure of that.
Is there anybody like, I don't know, like, do you feel that way whenever you know anyone in the crowd that you're anxious, or is it more like your close family and friends that are in your stories? What is it?
I think it's just like the whole thing is like you want to connect with the audience, but it usually when it starts from zero, where you're both on an equal playing field, it sucks if someone that you know is sitting in the front and then they want to be spoken to, or they're looking at you like, talk to me. But if we have a conversation, it's not going to relate to anyone else in the room because it's going to be like, oh, dude, you're queer. Like, I don't know. I had fun with it when my friend's dad showed up.
Yeah, it's so funny you brought that up because I was just going to ask you to tell me that story because I forget how it went.
Well, my friend from college, this guy, Johnny Kaplan, who played baseball at Tulane, who said he's the tallest, he's like 5'6", and he said he's the tallest guy on the team laying on his back. Meaning his penis is so long.
Hey, sometimes short guys pack a good punch.
I know, I'm still waiting. And then his dad showed up at the show in St. Louis randomly, didn't invite me, and sat front row.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in like the story though, right? Or
I just made him part of the story.
But did you recognize him as it was a coincidence that you brought up the story and then you were like, wait, aren't you the dad? Or?
No, I brought up the story after I saw the dad.
Got it.
I don't know. It was one of those ones where I didn't know he was coming. I never thought he'd come. I never thought I'd see this guy again. I don't know him as well as I know my other friends, so it didn't really fuck with me. I just was like, oh, you're here. It almost felt like crowd work because I've only probably hung out with the guy like 10 times in my whole life. So anyhow, but yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm more excited for golf afterwards. Me and my dad and my brothers are going to play. And we don't get together often at all. Especially I live in LA. My little brother lives in Raleigh. My older brother lives in Connecticut, and my dad lives in Florida. And my dad's getting older. And last time we played golf, he had trouble playing even 18. He had breast cancer himself, and he had some heart issues, and he's recovered. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, getting older, and you're starting to see it. And now I can finally beat him in golf. And I'm sorry you're dying, but this feels good for me.
I mean, we're all dying. He's just closer to death.
So empathetic. No, it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to play with them. Last time we played, I forget where we played, but we did do a boys trip
Yeah, you stayed at like a golf resort, right?
Oh yeah, in South Carolina.
Yeah. So, what is the golf weekend? Like, you get there on a Friday and then you golf just Saturday and then you leave Sunday, or is it like back to back golfing, 9 holes? How does it work?
Well, because he's older,
Yeah.
we'll just play mini golf and a putt and go to bed
You
at
pull
7.
up the flag for him.
Yeah, he no. So the plan is the show's Thursday night to play Friday and Saturday, play 2 nights in a row. Then Sunday's Mother's Day, and I need to get back here for Mango and you. No, they all have to get back for their wives, and I was like, yeah, I get it.
I was thinking you were gonna go see your mom since you were in Florida.
You would think, but that's like 4 hours away from there.
Yeah.
I should, but maybe I will.
It's funny when you don't live in a place and you're just like, why don't you just hop on over to there? You'll already be in Florida, and it's like, no, it's an 8-hour drive.
Yeah, that's how parents think. They're like, oh, you're in Jacksonville? Just come on down to Miami.
Yeah.
It always happens like that. Oh, you're in Detroit? Come on to our house. And, you got 3 hours.
Yeah. No, and it's like, oh, God. Yeah.
But-
Michigan in particular.
Yeah, the parents, like, they always wonder why I didn't see him, And it's like, well, maybe I just wanted to go to Florida, go to a hotel, have sex with my girlfriend, and have no drama.
I don't feel rested after seeing my family.
No, there's no...
I'm always so exhausted, and I'm like, I feel like I need a vacation from the getaway.
Yeah, I always feel like when I see my family, I never am, like, fully relaxed. I'm always, like, a little bit on edge. Who's mad at who? Am I spending enough time with... Because I'm from a divorced family. And it was a lot. It was a lot when it was like, oh, you're with your mother for 2 days. You didn't come down here. And it was always mentioned. Mm-hmm. It was always talked about. So I always had this feeling like I was disappointing one or the other.
And that carries into... Do you feel like it's carried into adulthood?
Yeah, of course. That was the last trip. Yeah.
Last trip had a lot of pressure on it too. Like, your mom wasn't feeling well. It was the first time I was kind of meeting your family, and
COVID was like still kind of a...
somebody I think on the trip got COVID, and like it just it had a lot of extra pressure on it.
Yeah,
it was New Year's Eve.
Because the trip's never long enough either.
No.
Like, you can't take like 2 weeks off work. So you could do 1 week one place, 1 week the other. It's always like the perfect number of days when your family's divorced where you can't get and they don't live by each other,
Yeah.
They never lived by each other. Like, once my dad got divorced, he moved like 40 minutes away. So it wasn't like, oh, I could just stop over there. My dad had us Wednesdays every other weekend. And I don't know. It just, that childhood of like the pressure of you got to be at this house just kept going. And then you feel it so you're like on vacation in Florida on the beach, and all you're thinking about is like, oh, I got to get down to mom's or she's going to be pissed,
Yeah, that's too bad. That's unfortunate.
And then you bring it up to him like, why would you think like that? It's like, I don't know. Am I crazy?
No, you're not. It's hard enough for me to go see my parents and they're still together and live together. Like, I can't imagine having to like go to navigate 2 different where they're close enough that you're like, they think that you could make it work. And they're not, in different states or anything. But
I mean, I have grown up where like, I feel like I would choose my friends. Like, because I would go stay with my friend. I would be like, I got to see my friends for 2 or 3 days. And now I'm at the age where it's like, okay, I won't see my friend. I think I should see my dad or mom. But back then you had to squeeze in the friends in the 5 days too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I went back to your house. Have we talked about that on the pod? A little bit.
What?
How we got like stuck.
God, going home for Christmas. I think well, Missouri was like, when I lived in Missouri, my family lived in northern Michigan, and it took the same amount of time but cost more to fly because they didn't live close to any airports. So I had to, get on the plane, rent a car, fly up or drive up.
Yeah.
So let's just drive, right? Like, so we drove with Mango this last year with our cat, and 8 hours, and we ended up leaving like 2 days, 3 days earlier because, there was a giant snowstorm coming, and we wanted to get there before the snowstorm versus having to decide, well, will we or won't we go if we get caught, or if there's too much snow and we can't make it up there, because we were about to move a week later. And I said, it's kind of now or never. Let's go see my family before I won't see them for a while. So we drive up earlier. We get snowed in. We stay an extra day as well, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, we did.
And,
that was the word.
Andrew remembers.
I remember. Yeah.
And we were literally, I think we left the house maybe twice let's say we were there for 5 days. And we were just stuck in this house with my parents and my family, and there was snow, and it was
sometimes
can't go
I'm
outside. And then Mango was in the basement locked away because he didn't get along with the other cats upstairs.
And the other cat had AIDS, and I was worried that Mango was going to get AIDS from the cat.
Feline HIV, which is not transferable unless they were fighting. Unless they fight.
Yeah, unless they fight, and the whole time they're fighting.
Basically swap blood, which they were fighting. So it was like, my parents were like, it's no big deal. Let them get used to each other. And Andrew's
let them just have sex unprotected. I put a condom over Mango. Put a Magnum on him.
So it was just an accumulation of things. And then Andrew ended up leaving his car key fob. He lost it underneath the mattress. And
yeah, I guess you can... At that point, you kind of wish your parents were divorced so you could go to the other house.
I think we just kind of decided that it doesn't make sense for us to go back to Michigan during Christmas anymore, like every year. Maybe in the summertime it does, 4th of July, Northern Michigan, that's a blast. But to go through all that trouble just to go where it's cold and you might get stuck, and also not to mention the dangers of literally driving in the snow. It's so scary if you're not used to it. And I don't feel like I'm used to it anymore. You're definitely not. You're Florida boy. So it's just not worth it.
Yeah, get made fun of for
calling
it a blizzard.
Away. We're so far away.
Yeah, now we're so far away. But it's, I don't know. You want somewhere probably in the middle of that where you get to see them some. But yeah, no, I'm excited to play golf with them. It'll be fun. I'm sure there'll be some kind of weird competitiveness with us when you get 3 brothers together.
Who won last time?
Me and my dad beat my brothers. I didn't play as well. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I don't think I feel like that anymore.
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah. I don't know. When you have brothers, the older one's so successful in so many things that you end up comparing yourselves a little bit. I mean, so like golf and like sports is something that I always was good at that came naturally to me. So it was like something I held like where I was like, I'm the man in this. And then real life hits and then I'm not that great at real life. I'm okay. I've gotten better.
You're like, let's go figure this out on the golf course.
Yeah, can we go play basketball or just pretend like games still matter?
I think you do when you play golf with somebody who, you could potentially be involved with for work. You're always like so excited to do it because you're good and that it's a gentleman's game and that a guy will be impressed if you're just good at a sport.
If you could hit a drive like 280 yards to 300 yards in front of another guy, they'll let you have sex with their wife. Like that's how. If you could throw a football, if you could throw a spiral, I remember there was a friend of ours who he didn't. I don't think he liked me that much, or like respected me that much. Mm-hmm. And then I played football with them, like flag football, or 2-hand touch, and I threw like 45 touchdowns, like literally. Like, just smoked it. And he was like...
Were you on his winning team or were you opposite?
I actually played all-time quarterback for both teams. Because I hurt my hamstring on the first play.
Really?
Yeah. I literally, tore my hamstring. And then I came in as all-time quarterback.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It is. It is. Especially when you only have 6 guys. And But I played in, their family game. And then after that, he, was like, I'm sorry. I misjudged you completely. It really is like that. It's crazy.
So funny. I'm trying to think what the
equivalent for women.
For women, yeah, feminine women. What the equivalent? I guess not on that scale, but when a girl has a great outfit on, you're like, wow, she looks great and she's got it together.
Yeah, I
or
guess
when their home is very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, no guy looks at me. He's like, look at that ass in jeans.
Yeah.
They don't. But if that ask and throw.
Yeah. We went over to a friend's house this weekend, and the first thing I said, it was the first time we were seeing her place, but I said, "Oh, I love your couch. Is this the whatever couch?" And, "Oh, that's the rug from West Elm. I love that rug." And like, it's just so funny how women notice that, and you're walking around with your sneakers on, and I'm like,
Well, we did a day party.
yeah, darty.
Is that what it's called?
Darty.
I didn't know it's called a darty. Fucking darty.
Fucking darty hardy, man.
Fucking darty. So we dartied. We went out with Ashley from Girls Gotta Eat, who moved out here at the same time we did, and is actually why we've actually met, which you heard me on Girls Gotta Eat, and then DM me. So thank you, Ashley and Raina, for that, for making me look cooler than I am. Yeah, that's why Brenna DM'd me. She found out I was moving to St. Louis, and she couldn't resist.
I couldn't. I followed you out of curiosity. I was like, what is this guy doing coming here? It made no sense.
It still doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was doing.
Me.
Yeah. Second date.
It's third.
Romantic. Darty. So we go to this darty. It's funny going to a party when or day drinking. It's fun.
Why is it funny?
I don't know. There's something to it where, like, when I used to day drink, it was on.
Yeah, I was started at brunch. You went through the whole day. You blacked out maybe at brunch, came back alive, and then blacked out again when you went out that night.
Yeah, and you would like maybe get a power nap of 20 minutes, or you just took a shower, drinking a beer in the shower to get in between the mixed drinks.
One time I came out of a brunch blackout. I was wearing a white bodysuit. I came out of my blackout laying in bed with a white bodysuit on, eating lentil soup.
What a weird.
And it was spilled all down my white bodysuit. That's what I came to at doing. And then kind of like just ate my soup and then took a shower and went out. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I mean, lentil soup too is like, it might as well be throw up or shit. Like, you don't know what it is. And on a white bodysuit.
Funneling it into my mouth. And in the dark.
And now we go from that to, there's like a smorgasbord or whatever. You got some different food. We got, some wine.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. You're a cutie.
There's chips and salsa.
There's a rosé, a little white wine, maybe tequila if we're getting wild, but no one went to the tequila. And we just day drink and we tell some story. It was really fun. It was in Santa Monica, nice place. Played some cornhole.
We did.
We were down 20-4. We came back and won, which was fucking wild.
Such a good comeback story. Well, they were up 20 and we were at 4 because I didn't know the rules. I thought it was you had to get the beanbag in the hole. It was basically all or nothing.
Yes.
I didn't know that you get points for even just getting it on the actual board. So I found that out once they hit 20 and I said, say no more. I've got it. I've got this.
I love that, like, your version of it is once you found that out, you...
Well, you only got us 4 points, Andrew, and the time they got 20. So that means...
You did not get 17 points. You're insane.
I'm not saying I did. Also, there were points in the game that you were like, don't get it on the board, which I still don't understand.
Because you got to get it right on 21. You can't go over it. And the guy was like getting cocky a little bit. He's a little like, I like the dude. But like, he's a little cocky, he's a real estate guy. Yeah. He was talking shit. And I just like locked in and I was like, you know what?
And that's why you said I have to beat him at this game.
Yeah. I go, you might be beating me in life. You might have more money. Your place is twice as nice, but I could fucking cornhole, bitch.
Meanwhile, you were getting mad at me. I was cheering for the other team when they scored. I was like, good job.
Yeah. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again to me.
That's the difference between you and I.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we got to Ashley's and we had the parking situation, whatever. I did tell a story about meeting Heath Ledger at the party.
That was everybody loved that. It was a crowd pleaser.
It is funny, like when you do stand up, you're so used to like, I forget like like killing at a party and how it would make me feel good. Like
everyone was giggling. One of the girls even looks at, I think, one of the other, somebody else in the party goes, he's good. Like everyone's waiting for you to crack that. And I go, yeah, it's what he does.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore. I used to go to parties and I would tell these stories, these tales, and I would really get into them because I'd want someone to like me, so bad.
Yeah.
And that's how I would feel, I guess, whatever. And then after you do stand-up, you forget. A lot of times you end up being quiet at parties because you spend so much time trying to entertain people.
Yeah, but it comes naturally to you.
Yeah, and it was fun. Like I haven't been doing as much stand-up lately, and I'm starting to enjoy people with normal jobs more than comedians at this point a lot. Where it's just like kind of like a more healthy kind of relationship and conversation. So it was fun. Yeah. Because I met Heath Ledger in Amsterdam and then I met him in the Greek islands 2 weeks later. And one time I was on mushrooms and I told him he's great in 10 Things I Hate About You. And then... Which isn't you...
Somebody said, I think that's why he killed himself.
I had that as a joke at one point. Yeah. And 2 weeks later, I saw him in the Greek islands. I told him he's following me around Europe. He was talking to 8 hot girls, and I went up to him hammered. You're following me around Europe.
Did you think for sure he was going to recognize you?
He looked at me and goes, you're following me around Europe. Like, serious? And then I was like, what a fucking dick. And I like walked away. I just like backed up into darkness. And I've told people that story my whole life about how much of Heath Ledger is a dick. And it just occurred to me that I was insane. I expected this celebrity to recognize me 2 weeks later in the dark, while he's in the middle of a conversation, going up to his table, going, you're following me around Europe. And then mad at his response. This whole time, I thought he was the asshole. And I don't know. I still, I definitely was like overly like confident in that he would remember me. I was hammered.
How old were you?
Like 20.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you were probably just overly confident at 20. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah,
But a lot of people are.
I guess I just was overly drunk. Which led to fake confidence and just loudness.
Yeah.
And just absurdness. But yeah, so the party, we told that story. We were trying to get a Ouija board to talk to Heath Ledger from the dead to see if it was the asshole. And it was just a fun, like, it went from like 2 p.m. to what, like 9?
I think 9. No, we went over there at about 4:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 4:30 to 9.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Finished it off with a couple slices of pizza and went home.
Ugh.
I did wake up with hot flashes from all the wine I drank, though. It's the worst. Like the hot sweats from drinking.
Mm-hmm.
God. Because day drunk is great because you're less hungover, but sometimes you wake up, so then you go to bed really early, and then you do wake up in the middle of the night, and you're just dying of thirst. It feels like you, licked a litter box, and then your mouth tastes like you ate out of a litter box. And
yeah, there's something horrible about waking up with spins and hungover, and it's still dark. Because it's only fucking 2 a.m.
Yes.
You're so better off staying up as late as possible, so when you wake up, at least you see that daylight, which makes you feel okay, that you made it to the next day. I've had so many panic attacks at 2 a.m. the next night. Actually, the following night. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that night is never going to end, because you can't go back to sleep.
No. And hangover sadness lasts me literally 4 days. Like, I'll be depressed. I just can't drink very often anymore. I just get so sad. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I think I still feel a little sad.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's a real feeling.
Yeah.
Because then Sunday night we went out a little bit. We didn't get fucked up. We went bowling. That was pretty funny. We went bowling. We met up with my buddy Gianni from the show Ghost on Stars.
What's a Ghost about?
It's like a kind of a gangster show.
Like a reality show?
No, like a real
Oh, an actual gangster store? Or just
No, no, like a fictional show. Yeah.
Is it what kind of gangster show?
Like drug dealers.
Do you even know what the show's about?
Yes, I do. It sounds like you don't know what a show is. You go, is it a reality
There's a
show?
lot of different
Is it a real gangster store?
There's a
That's what you just said to me.
And then
Yeah.
there's a lot of different types of gangster shows.
No, they're in college and they're dealing drugs.
Okay, that's college kids dealing drugs.
Yeah. But they're tied to gangsters that are outside that are getting into drugs to deal it.
What is your friend Gianni in it?
He is a rich white guy in the show who befriends the black kid from the city who got into the school because he's very smart, but he's also dealing drugs. And so then he brought Gianni in because he had connections.
So he's guilty by association.
No, he's guilty by doing
it, giving him the connections.
So anyways, we meet this guy from the show, and it was fun. Like there was like 8 guys, or 6 guys, 6 girls.
Yeah. I'm not even sure they all knew each other.
No one knew each other. He knew some of the guys. He knew 3 of the guys.
I think Gianni knew everybody, but nobody else knew each other.
It felt like,
almost.
Like 6 degrees of Gianni.
Yeah.
So we end up.
I just I don't know. What do you feel about it? You just invite everyone. You're like, I'm going bowling. Let's just invite anybody who wants to come.
It's a guy that's single who's on top of the world right now because he's on a hit TV show.
Yeah, I guess
so he's just
true.
like, hey, let's go entourage style. I got my manager here. I got my brother. I'm going to invite some girls to bowl, look hot while I fucking throw them down the lanes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just like the life he's 26.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What did he say?
Huh?
Well, I met him for the first time.
Yeah.
And what did he say? He said something about like, you don't let her loose in LA. This girl, Drake sees this girl and it's over for you. And we were kind of giggling. And he goes, but wait, how old are you? And I go, I'm 27. And he goes, oh, never mind. And he walked away. Andrew and I started following behind him to go to the lane. And Andrew heard me say under my breath, I just go, yeah, I'm 27. Yep, he's right.
It was so sad.
I was so sad.
Your inner monologue became so outer.
Yeah, and you
go, I am 27.
Yeah, I am 27.
I'm so old.
Just that moment when I realized I'm too old for Drake. I'm outside of the, not that I want to be with
the Drake zone.
I'm outside of the Drake zone. I'm also kind of outside of the sex trafficking zone. You want me?
Oh, I traffic you still. You're still trafficable in my eyes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were eating like hot Takis the other day. Drake would have sex with you, eating hot Cheetos. You look like you were 10 years old.
I was eating hot Cheetos. I had a Gatorade in my other arm, and I was pushing Mango in the stroller. And Andrew said, you look like you're 13 years old.
Yeah, like babysitting. And Drake, look, if Drake wants to have sex with you, whatever. Do your thing. If that's what you want.
Drake has sex with too many people for me.
I'm sure he gets down.
Yeah.
So we're at this party and we're all bowling and it's fun. It's competitive. It's nice. We're all having fun. And Gianni has this friend that's a girl there. And we get talking about 50 Cent because that's who the producer of this show is, from 50 Cent. Or whatever, 50 Cent produces it. And I'm just saying something about 50 Cent, and then Gianni out of nowhere just goes, what do you think about Master P? And I go, he's cool as shit, but he's fucked up to his kids.
He's fucked his kids over.
And then Gianni looks at me and he goes, this is his daughter. And I go, I'm sorry. And she goes, nah, he does. He does fuck us over. You're right. And I was like,
that's a girl who's dealt with her shit.
Yes. She was awesome.
She's one of the coolest girls I've met in LA so far.
She was so nice. You wouldn't, if she was raised in any kind of celebrity, you wouldn't know it. She was so down to earth. And she was so cool with me. And then I started going, no, make him say, and that's like her dad's biggest song. And I think she was impressed. So impressed. But it's probably so annoying. People have probably done that to her whole life. But
Oh, she takes it well.
yeah, she did. She
was
did.
acting like it's the first time it's happened to her.
Well, I think
Maybe the fifth time.
I think she probably hangs out with a lot of people that, Master P had a big moment.
When?
Like early 2000s, like 2000.
Yeah.
It's way before most people time that she hangs out with, so they probably don't even know.
That's true.
And he had a great cribs where he was on like this lake, like Lake Life, and it was just like a little retention pond. I still remember it. She was so like cool with it. I got scared for a second. I was like, "Fuck, dude, that's fucked up." But she was like, "Man, he's seen because him and his son they've gone at it on Instagram."
Really?
Yeah.
How many kids does he have?
A
ton or
I think
a few?
A decent amount.
Yeah, like Nick Cannon.
Not that many. I mean, Nick Cannon's on what, 12?
14?
Jesus. I mean, I guess he has enough money where they'll all be. But is he paying for all of them?
Does he have enough money? 14 kids?
Yeah. I mean, people have 3 kids and have $30,000 a year. You know what I mean?
It's true. I'm going to look up how many kids he has.
How many kids is Nick Cannon? I think it's 14. 12. Jesus.
Since 2011. He's got 10 under 10. Or 12 under 10, right? No, 12 under 12.
Jeez.
He has 12 under 12
from like 4 different women or something.
I mean,
at that point,
what's that? That's three kids a woman. You've got to be fucking the women at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess actually, if you think about it.
I mean, there's some like czars back in the day and shit. Like
12 under 12 is a 9-month pregnancy. He can go to one girl, fuck her, get her pregnant, has that kid, and then goes to another girl, and he could just rotate.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did a chunk of 3, chunk of 3, chunk of 3, chunk of 3. I don't know. I'm just thinking about how technically he could just have welcomed one child a year for the last 12 years.
Yes.
Because it's
from
been 12 years.
From different women.
Yeah.
Yes. He definitely there's probably some kind of like God complex there where he's like, I just want to see as many of me as possible. There's been
that's more like a biological thing too. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, men are biologically would want to spread their seed to as many mates as possible, whereas women just because they raise the kid and have such a long gestation period.
Yeah.
They want one mate because a woman can only have so many pregnancies, and so they want one mate to keep her safe and basically like ensure that that's going to happen. But men just want to spread their seed.
Yeah, but I don't think I think that is said a lot. I just think like maybe look, I think our caveman brain in the back of there is going, yeah, go throw it around. But then we're also like, I hope no one gets pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want 12 kids.
No. I think guys want to spread their seed without having kids.
Yeah.
He wants to spread his seed and see him like he doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No. A guy who has 12 kids, that's
I
not
get a guy.
accident.
I think guys today want to fuck every girl in the village, but they just don't want babies.
Or they don't want to put in the work because it's a lot more work to fuck a girl now than it used to be.
Well, then not necessarily. You're also caught on the hook for paying for them legally, whereas a caveman you could just be like, I'm gonna be over here. He don't look like me, and then no one's gonna be like, no, he looks like you. You got to pay $3,000 a month. And
you can't put your kid back to work as early as you used to be able to back in the day.
What do you mean?
They used to have like 8-year-old paper boys.
What does that mean?
I mean that it's more you're more on the hook for financials.
Oh,
you can't just say,
yeah.
hey, my 9-year-old.
Yeah, you're a man now.
Yeah.
You're 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you got to be the dad for 18 years at least.
It's too long.
I don't even know why the hell we started talking about that.
Is Nick doing a good job at raising them?
I'm sure his housekeeper's doing great. I'm sure he knows all the names. Maybe he's a great father. Maybe the limited amount of time he has with them is better than a lot of time.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's like
he steps in. He takes inventory. He checks it out. He sees how they're doing. He fucking makes sure they're brushing their teeth, wiping their ass. He gives them $30,000, buys them a car, whatever, makes them read. And he's out to the next house.
They're all under 12 right now. I think in another 12 years, we're going to start hearing from Nick Cannon's kids about what their childhood was like.
Yeah.
Because, I can't wait.
I mean, I think, I don't know. I think you can, is it quality time over quantity? I think it's going to be tough to do 12.
Yeah.
But he seems to work hard, Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like 6 of them are taken care of fantastically. There's going to be 2 or 3 that were probably ugly, maybe have like backwards feet or like
whatever baby mama.
Yeah, was
like
which he doesn't want in the news, doesn't want to be linked to. Those kids are going to be fucking pissed. And someone's going to go up to their friend at a bowling alley and they're going to be like, "What do you think of Nick Cannon?" And be like, "He's cool, but he treats his kids like shit." And that kid's going to be like, "You're right, he does."
That's great. It reminds me of the Shameless episode. One of the main characters has a baby from a young age and she bumps into another young mom that she grew up with, and the young mom has like 4 kids. They're all different races and they're very differently dressed, and just overall appearance is a very big range between the 4 kids. And her friend kind of was like, "What's going on?" Like, and she said, "Well, I have 4 kids, all different baby daddies." And she said, they get their clothes from wherever they get their clothes from depends on how much money their daddy gives me every month. So this girl's daddy gives me $1,000 a month. She's wearing Louis Vuitton. This baby, he gets his clothes from Goodwill, 25 cents a t-shirt.
I mean, that is such an absurd thing that she wouldn't spread it out. I like that she's like, "Nope, this is how I'm going to allocate the money. Dude. This dad gave this. I'm not going to get Gap for all of them. Either someone's getting fucking wearing old bacon scraps and the other one's wearing Louis." Like, it's absurd.
It's so funny to me. Some people's brains work like that, but I mean, it's more intended to be humorous. I understand that, but it just cracks me up.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, I'm exhausted just in life and us dating with a cat.
Dude.
12 cats by 5 different women, and I had to fucking spread my shit around. Fuck.
Make it.
Oh my God. 1 cat would be dead. 3 cats would be dead right away. I would kill 3 of them because I couldn't take care of them.
Well, we would think about getting Mango a brother sometimes, but I'm just like, I cannot.
We were just at the cat store today. There was a cat. It was the size of a fucking llama. This thing was 60 pounds. It doesn't even fit in the cage. It like squeezes through the cage. And Brenna's like, "It likes you." You're like, "It seems to like you." Because Mango, whatever. We're going to get into cat again. But I was petting Mango today, and Mango, she goes, "He doesn't like that. He doesn't like how you pet him."
No, I didn't say it that way. I said, if you read his tail, because you didn't grow up with cats. I did. So I was really actually trying to help you, because sometimes he just will get up and run away from you. And this is the reason why. If a cat will tell you by their tail if where you're petting them is bothering them. That's their first thing. And then they'll start to groan or they'll get up and run away. But he was really smacking his tail down. I said, "Hey, you could tell by his tail that he doesn't like that. But just to pet him up here." And you got all upset. Because
there is definitely a feeling, if he is on my chest at all on the bed.
Yeah.
There's a jealousy and a rage coming from you. And you're going to go, "No, it's not." No. You do. If that cat tomorrow decided he's going to sleep on my head, on my neck, and he was going to meow at me, and we were going to have a bond where he looks in my eyes and we connect on a fucking deep fucking psychological level where I am him and he is me, you would lose your mind. But that is the connection you all have. And then I can't even pet him without apparently his tail being wrong.
Okay, well, that was a gradual bond. And I think it has to do with something that I picked him out alone at this shelter because you didn't want to come.
I paid for it. I showed him the credit card statement.
I genuinely do not care if Mango cuddles up to you. I think I look at you because it is so cute and it's so rare that I'm like, what does he want? What does he want from him, And so that's all it is.
Yeah.
But if he was all of a sudden flipped a switch on me, I have abandonment issues. I think I would be really
yes,
hurt.
Yes. And I feel that.
But I don't want him to not love you. And he does spend time with you. When I'm not here, he's your best bud.
Speaking of jealousy, I got a little jealous. We tend to not get jealous over each other's situations. Usually, I feel like we're together so much that, like, if you went out on a girls' night and then didn't text me, and then next thing you know, you slept at your friend's house and you had lentil soup all over you, I'd probably get jealous or whatever. Or if I went on a boys' weekend and I was just like, whatever, I'll talk to you fucking Monday. Chill the fuck out. Like, we'd get jealous. But we're with each other so much. If we do get jealous, that's just, again, that's abandonment issues. That's just like a strong dependence on each other.
Oh, you have matching traumas.
Yeah. But you went and got your haircut. Sorry if I'm burping a little. I just ate 17 meatballs. And I probably shouldn't have.
I told him, don't go for seconds. You're going to be burping. And here we are.
I'm sorry. If you heard that burp, I don't know how loud it was, but that is.
It was fine. Just keep moving along.
I had more meatballs than Nick Cannon has kids. I had a meatball for every kid.
Yeah, you were spreading your seed around those balls.
Yeah, I was.
The balls were spreading.
Hey, man, that's just how guys are trained.
Hey, biologic.
Darty. So, shit. I don't even know. Oh, so we're rarely apart to get jealous. Brenna wanted a haircut. She hasn't got a haircut in a while. And she found this place. Every girl's haircut's like $7,000.
So expensive.
They cut for each hair is $10.
I got 50% off, and I got a hair trim. It's a 50% off. Welcome to your first haircut here.
Yes.
Discount. I got a trim and a toner, a gloss put over my hair.
Yes. Now
$200 before tip.
So you get the hair. So you go get the haircut. I'm chilling. You come home and you tell the listener the story you told me, and whether or not, I want to know, write me if you would have been jealous hearing this.
Okay, so I go to this haircut. I go into the salon. It's a Sunday, so it's a little bit quieter out, but I wasn't expecting this. I go in. It's one man, and he comes running down the stairs. It's a 2-story salon. It's huge. In like tight red sweatpants and a tight red t-shirt.
Wait, he was wearing sweatpants? I didn't even know he was just wearing sweats. That's all cocked imprint. Okay, keep going.
Matching sweats. And he comes down, introduces himself, whatever. And then I realize that he's the one who's giving me my haircut. No one else is in the salon this entire time. He sits me down. And
what's the lighting situation?
It's bright. Any salon, it's like not great, to be honest.
He lowered them.
He definitely dimmed them.
I'm gonna kill this guy.
And he was like, "Okay, so what are you thinking? Whatever." And I'm like in the middle of talking, and he just said, "Love your hair, beautiful hair. You're a beautiful woman." Okay, whatever. He's flattering me. It's fine. Whatever. He's getting down to my level, so he's kneeling down. I'm sitting in the salon chair, and like actually really looking into my eyes as I'm talking to him, and he goes, "So beautiful." After I start, he starts cutting my hair.
Now, do you think he's a gay man at this point, or right away you were picking up straight vibes?
No, I was getting straight vibes.
Sweet, even better. Yeah.
So I was in the chair. He's giving me my haircut. A few of the things we talked about, he did ask why I moved here, or I guess I moved here, and did I move with a boyfriend? That's like a classic question. And I said, yeah, I did. And he goes, oh, you're a smart girl. It's hard to date here. And he said, I used to just fuck around, but now I want a wife. And he said, how old are you? And I said, and he goes, well, you're still young and everything. You're too young. And he goes, well, how old are you? And I said, I'm 27. Again, with the age. Yeah. People are really aging me here in this town.
It's like Drake wouldn't fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, oh, well, you're about like you're the age where you could start to have children. So kind of, it was weird. Yeah. So then, hold on, I wrote down what some things we went over, and he was just very touchy, whatever, just talking to me, flirty, but it was innocent until he kind of like, how did it go?
Yeah, I forgot exactly what the exchange was. All I know is when he was...
No. So he goes and he says, okay, well, we're going to go and get you washed up in the bowl. So he's washing my hair and putting the gloss on, and it's kind of silent. Oh, by the way, he was like, let's set the mood. What kind of music do you want? I said, I don't really care. So he's blasting Parisian music this whole time. He's a French man with an accent. He's very cocky about what he does, that he's been doing it for 25 years. He is talented. And so Parisian music's blaring this whole time. I, at one point, was at the rinse bowl just trying to get video proof of what that music was that I was witnessing and how awkward it was that I was alone. So he's giving me a massage, giving me a head massage. It's a part of the hair service, I guess. And he's telling me, he's not really saying much, but he was just like giving me the best head massage I've ever had. Let's be real. And he brings his hands down and he's kind of on my shoulders. And I was like, oh, I've never had a hairdresser do this to me before. He goes down on the side, like my side boobs, and is massaging right here. And it was a long massage. And this is the music that's playing the entire time, by the way.
It's like White Lotus. So he's rubbing your tits. And what was the exchange, though? There was one...
It was completely silent.
And wasn't his leg up in front of you?
Oh, yeah. And he got in front of me and he had his leg up on like the side of me. It was weird. And then I get up and after he like looks me in my eyes and he was like, you are a beautiful person after doing that. And then he's like, you come next time I'll do your hair and I'll give you a full body massage. I do massages upstairs. And then, but
you had one exchange.
The exchange ends and he goes and gives me a hug and he kisses me on the side of the cheek and he was like,
I didn't know that.
And he was like saying, oh, he said, you have a boyfriend? Is your mom single? And I said, no, she's married. And he said, is your sister single? I said, no, she's married. And then he gives me that hug and the kiss and he like kisses me on the side of the cheek and he goes, why?
I thought there was one other exchange. I forget what it was. I'm like, I just remember it made me so pissed. I forget. It was something like, I don't know. Anyhow, so she tells me that, and then...
Oh, he said, before he cut my hair, he said, this is why we write stuff down, are you ready to fall in love with my fingers? Oh, and at one point during the haircut, he just looks at me. No,
let that sit. Let that sit. Let that sit.
That was at the beginning.
Now, if your girl comes home and she looks giddy and her breasts look massaged by a hairdresser and she goes, he said to me, are you ready to fall in love with my fingers? Are you not going to be raging a little bit? Because I think, now I could be wrong, if I came back and I go, babe, I had the best haircut of my life. I went to this girl. She was exotic. She was like Armenian. She was playing Armenian music, and she gave the best head massage. And it was so long, and she somehow got down by my thighs and was rubbing right next to my nuts. But it was like, and she's like, next time I'll do full body massage for you. And she said, are you ready to fall in love with my hand jobs or with my palms? How would you feel?
I would be really upset.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like if I went and got a full body massage from him, he would finger me. I really do. Like, that's how sexual it was.
You're not going back to him.
No. And then at one point,
do whatever you want to do. Just wear 3 pairs of panties.
Yeah. And
you're 27.
One point, nobody actually wants to fuck me anymore. At one point, he looks at me, and he was also, like I said, he was this French man, so he's got this accent, and he tells me in between my service, he says, I have to go pee-pee, and like runs away.
That was the only thing I think that actually made me like feel okay when I heard that.
I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I just feel like that was a guy who, it also, the fact that you were in there alone.
Yeah, that was on top of it. He had the door locked because he didn't want just people walking in.
I mean, this is a story of like abuse. Mm-hmm. And
It was a very sexual experience. I will say the vibe was.
but don't you think I should be pissed when you say it was a very sexual experience?
I mean, I just haven't had anybody hit on me that strongly outside of like like a party.
I know, but it was
Like I just haven't been in that like situation in so long that maybe it felt amplified, but I was just like, whoa.
There's a strong
He's
chance
coming
that
on
like he was
strong.
very like kind of abusive a little bit.
But he doesn't. Here's the thing. I looked up his reviews. He's got great reviews.
Everyone comes.
He's got great reviews. He does a lot of influencers hair and whatever, like fame like
Okay.
model hair. So I'm thinking, I think he does this with everybody, and that most of the women honestly love it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a weird vibe for me overall. I don't know if I'll go back. He's not giving me a full body massage. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, look, am I really jealous? I mean, part of it, if I'm just like getting a little bit for just the show, I think it's funny. But would I care if you went back? No. Would I like you not to go like during after hours? Do I like the guy? No. I think he has no boundaries.
Oh yeah, and then I saw him in Airwan the other day.
Oh, yeah.
A few days after with Andrew.
And then Brenna goes, "Oh, there's the guy that I fell in love with his fingers." And I look at the guy and you go, "Oh, there he is. There's the guy."
He came up and asked me if I loved my hair. Said yes.
I didn't even see that part. He was so sneaky.
Yeah.
He's also not. He didn't look. I thought he was like a little Parisian, maybe gay man, who like was like kind of so silly, like walked around with scissors, kind of vibe. But he kind of had a masculine vibe, more masculine than I was. Like I wasn't. I don't know. It just it didn't sit. Like he was better looking. And I thought he looked more normal than I thought. Like in the sense of like, oh, like he could actually steal you.
No.
All right. So let's go to some Oprah questions. Wow, coming right out of the gate. Do you see yourself having kids? If so, how many?
Yeah, maybe. If we decide, not right now, but probably one, maybe two.
I know, it's like a cat. You just, I don't know. Write to us if you have one kid. Is one fine?
I would love to have just one kid. I think we're one kid kind of people, but I've grown up with. We both.
I'm kind of worried if we have kids and it sleeps on my chest.
We're not doing co-sleeping.
I know. I just feel like 2 kids and we each could have our own designated kid.
Yeah, but kids are always more attached to their mother.
That's what a mother would say. Who doesn't want their kid to be attached to the father?
I would love for them to be attached to you. You can take care of them. I'll go to Pilates with Bailey.
Yeah, I would like to have a kid. I think at this point, I don't know. It's just finances.
I think you.
It's just money.
Yeah, I think
it's money. It's not even about career as much anymore. Before that was time and like going on the road and shit, and like I'd be real worried that I wouldn't be able to commit to my art or whatever. I don't give a fuck about that as much anymore. I still care about it, but it's just not as important as like what's exactly like around me.
Yeah.
I feel like I've grown a lot in that sense. And how many kids? Yeah, 1 or 2. Definitely not more than 2.
No way.
I think 2 is the perfect number. Older boy, younger girl. Done. I think that would be ideal. But
why older boy, younger girl?
He could take care of her a little bit.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I think he could do that if he's younger than her too, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like a older brother thing.
Dude, guys that have like older sisters, they probably get terrorized by her a little bit, but boy, do they learn more about women. So when you just have 3 brothers, you don't know shit about women.
Guys who grow up with sisters are so much different than.
Well, they're already ready for the whole menstrual cycle thing. Like the idea that like if I lived with my sister and she had to deal with having like I really didn't know about periods and how like upsetting it can make women and like see it firsthand. But if I lived with a woman,
you would have known.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never saw that from your mom?
Not that I remember. It was never like that. It was more, other things. But
yeah. Okay. All right. Next
yeah.
question.
So okay, 1 or 2, we can see it. I think maybe in 2 to 3 years.
2. Turning up, or
I just think it's been a year since we said 3.
Really? Has it? Wow. Okay.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Soulmates, plural. I think you make people your soulmate. Yeah. But I don't think you're destined for people. I think that you make people happen and you decide almost.
But isn't the whole idea of soulmate is that you don't decide, that you're just brought together by an unknown force?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't then. Do you believe in soulmates?
Well, I think there was a lot of things that led us to each other.
Yeah. It is.
There was like so many, there's literally a million different things, that butterfly effect that led me to being in St. Louis. That if anything else changed, we would have never have been together.
But that's destiny.
Yeah, soulmates. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe we have to Google what the fuck a soulmate is.
Let's look it up real fast.
And if you believe in soulmates, do you think you've met yours? I mean, that would be an insane question to ask a couple, and they're like, no.
Oh, a soulmate is a person with whom one has a feeling of deeper natural affinity. This may involve similarity, love, romance, platonic relationships, comfort, and intimacy, sexuality, sexual activity, spirituality, compatibility, and trust. Yeah, like I said, soulmates.
Yeah. So if you believe in soulmates, do you believe in God?
The person destiny has chosen for us, our missing piece, a connection of minds, and an unconditional, effortless, never-ending love. Yeah, I guess so then. Do I believe in God?
You could probably end on this. This is a pretty serious question.
I don't believe the fictional character of God. I believe in, the supernatural and spirits, and I don't believe in a God though.
Like one particular God.
No, I don't have anybody in mind.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're connected with a higher power?
I've felt that way. I think that that kind of coincides with like soulmates, I guess, but yeah, I guess I don't believe in I don't believe in God. I believe in.
So what is out there?
Like spirituality.
I know what's out there.
I haven't really figured that out. I don't really think aliens, probably a lot of souls, stars.
You're like Neil deGrasse Tyson. My God.
Dust, like people dust,
But you were raised in Christianity. Like God was a big part of your life.
Yeah, he was there for a while. I did that.
Do you have a defining moment when you go, okay, maybe this isn't what it is?
No, I think I always just felt like I was faking. I never had this really strong belief of God. I went along with the religion aspect of it and believe in I went on mission trips. I believe in helping people and being there. It's a great way to be a part of a community, but I never felt like I was pulled from God.
Yeah.
I never got that feeling. What about you?
Like aliens and souls and stuff, and stuff. I believe my whole thing with God and faith and all that is if I thought Earth was all there was, if I didn't know about planets and all that shit and how big the world and how big the universe is, and the more I learn how small we are and how little we know, and then to even have the ego or the audacity to think that I fucking know, or another human knows exactly where we came from or what it is. And not only that, we fight wars because we think we're right and other people are wrong. I just can't get behind that. I don't understand how I would love to just have faith and just be like, all right, I believe in a God. When I'm weak, I could rely on God to be there and I love the idea of that. And I wish I could just not overthink it and be like, well, this is, I call on God if I'm like when my parents were getting divorced, or when I was really sad, or when I'm thinking about death, or if I'm feeling deathly. Like, I don't call on God when I'm having a great time. But, I have...
So you only call on God. You believe in God when
shit's hitting the fan. When you're at a hairdresser getting your tits grabbed, I go, God, get her out of there. No, so I think so there is some kind of relationship there where I go, okay, there is something bigger, and I would like for it to take care of me, because there's times I can't take care of myself.
Yeah.
And I want them to take care of my mom because we can't take care of her. I want to take care of my dad, or I want, hopefully, the people that have died that have been important to me in my life there's something else, whatever that is. Hopefully it's so great and so amazing that we don't even know how to define it.
But that seems to me like you're spiritual, and that almost like you're counting on the universe, because a God is like, you're part of a religion and you have this idea, or this, like, with Christianity, the 10 Commandments, that's a religion, and a God is representing the morals of the religion. So, like, I feel like unless you're part of a religion, your God can be anything. So the idea of God is just, to me, my God was, growing up, this guy who, I guess we never really saw God. I'm thinking of Jesus.
Yeah.
I started off so strong. I was just thinking about Jesus the whole time. Jesus of Nazareth, gladiator sandals, and a great beard. Okay, well.
And the 10 Commandments, that was Judaism, but...
No, it's Christian.
Well,
there could be commandments in other religions.
Well, the Old Testament was both, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I just think God, like, who is God? What is he, a
okay,
man?
Babe. People are asking for God to have you not explain God anymore.
I'm so brain dead today. I really tried for you.
Man. God has to exist for whatever that was to happen.
He said, Lord, help this
I think you were
girl
just
spread
describing...
my message.
You're like, is God Nick Cannon? Like, what is God? Is God a human? I've never seen God.
God does have 12 followers, just like Nick Cannon. Disciples.
Yes. There we go. All right. On that note, thank you for listening. Sorry for the last 6 minutes, but I think it was somewhat entertaining. Thank you so much for listening. I just said that. We'll be back next week. I have some really fun guests coming up as well. And we really appreciate you enjoying the show and sharing and liking and commenting and all that stuff. I will be in Chicago, 428 at the IO Theater. Then I will be at the Orlando Improv May 10th, Tampa Improv May 11th. Please come out. Anything else, Brenna?
Everybody take care of themselves now. You hear?